Hello, Gareth here, and I'm feeling very excited because I'm going on a painting trip, and I'm going to a place called Taketa town, which has a very beautiful traditional Japanese street. So let's go. Here I am in Taketa. I parked at the supermarket car park, and right next to it was this beautiful street with this lovely white wall and these lovely white buildings. And I walked around this corner and came across this really beautiful view. And later at home I did this simple line and wash painting of this scene, and it turned out rather nice. It was really pleasant to walk along this street and hear the sound of running water. On my left hand side there was a water channel. At the end of the street there was a wide open area. I found this flight of stone steps really beautiful. I love the curve as well, and so I did a painting of that, and I added these two figures on one of the benches as a point of interest. And as you can see, I really played around with the colours, using some blues and yellows and whatnot, and I'm fairly happy with the final result. I also really like this scene, and at home I painted this scene, and I decided to do it as a nighttime scene with the moonlight shining down, and I really like the end result. And then I went on a walkabout, and there were lovely little streets like this, and some of the buildings are really quite nice. And then I found a shop with a Hina doll display, and they were playing this wonderful music. I would have loved to have recorded the music and shared it with you, but I do have to be careful about copyright. After that, I retraced my steps back to that flight of stone steps, and then I went up them, which was a little bit tiring for me because I'm getting a bit old now. I found this really interesting archway, and then I came to this shrine. I think it's a shrine. Those trees are possibly cherry blossom trees. And then I rang the bell. And then I came across this beautiful building here. And the sun was just above the top of the building. It looked beautiful. And then I continued my walk on the other side of the hill, and I loved the light coming down here through the bamboo trees and the way it makes the banks sparkle here. The grassy banks sparkle. So beautiful. And then I had a real surprise, because as I came down the hill, I came across this wonderful view. The last video clip you just saw of the river, in some ways that was a beautiful scene, but it was a mix of, like, I don't know, beautiful nature and modern Japan. Well, not super modern, but I think to myself sometimes, in one way, I want to express the beauty of nature in Japan, but sometimes also I want to show some of the man-made things, and not just like the traditional things, but also some of the more modern things and the mix of that. And sometimes, like in that previous clip, it can look a bit ugly in some ways. There's wires everywhere. Did you see all the wires? But at the same time, there's something interesting about it. I think it was a beautiful scene, and I think there's something very unique and interesting about it. And so I'm going to have a go at painting that. So today is an absolutely beautiful day, and I'm going to continue walking around. So I've decided to paint this scene. I love the distant hill over there, and the colour is beautiful, and then the rocks here in the foreground, and then these trees shooting up. It's very beautiful. There's a lovely hazy effect as well. And then I love this wall. I mean, it's not like a normal modern wall with straight edges. There's that curve in the middle part, a kind of organic feel to it that is really, really beautiful. And what I like about that wall as well is it's got like 3 different layers to it, which normal walls don't have, right? They're very boring. Whereas this has got a top part, a decorative tiled part. Then you've got this white plaster. And I even like that smudgy black bit at the bottom. And then you've got the rocks below that, and you can see the mold on the rocks, which gives them a lovely, almost like decorative effect. And we've got these lovely shadows as well. So I'm going to have a go. I forgot my water, so I'm using water from my spray bottle, but it's always a bit like that. There's always something that's not quite right. And also when you're painting outdoors, I say this every time, but it's really important, and maybe I'm saying it to myself, and that is simplify. So I think what I'll do with this painting is I'll do basically a colourful underpainting, and then go over it with some kind of grey colours, and then add a touch of colour to the grey here and there, and then hopefully that will look quite nice. I need a bigger brush. Okay. Oh wow, I'm a bit late with the sun. It's going behind the trees now, and shadows are disappearing. And then it always happens that the wind picks up. I'm going to do, well, I am doing wet in wet here. And now to do the greys. Wow, there's some lovely pink colours on this rocky wall here. Luckily, because my undercolours were colourful, it's not exactly pink, but it's a bit of a warmy colour, so that's lucky. Okay, let's do some colour. Okay, there's a little bit of green here. Ooh, it's exploding. What I'm doing here is I'm just enjoying the like colours exploding and merging into one another. And in a minute I'll add some water to this and it'll explode even more. You want a little bit of that out of control feeling. That's what I did here, and it was beautiful. Sadly this is too light, but it's good enough as a reference. And here I need to do shadows here soon. That's worked out fairly okay, but I should take my sunglasses off because maybe I've got a bit of a rose tinted view. I want this shadow to be more bluey colour, less grey. Blend that together. There's all lovely effects in there. Okay, try and get these wheels. I think that band looks a bit rubbish, but there we go. Shall we get rid of it? What do you think? Yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. This is fun. So you can sometimes erase things in watercolour. Like I said, you've got to be fearless. I'm not always fearless though. Look at that. Bye bye van. I've heard black described as the queen of colours. I know that in watercolour we're not supposed to use it that much, but it really does help. It makes all the other colours really come out. And at the front here, my water's really dirty, but look at that. That's how dirty my water is. Ah, done there.
もうよっぽど出来上がったですね。
はい。
夕日が何とも言えいいですね。
ありがとうございます。
立派な絵描くんですね。頑張ってください。
はい、頑張ります。So 頑張ります means fight. He told me to fight. In a nice way. I quite like it. It's got some kind of feeling, I think. I captured the feeling. Okay, yeah, that will do. Bit of a crazy painting, but you know, the crazy ones sell. So this is what it looks like now. So about 20 minutes ago, it was that beautiful hazy evening scene. Down there, there's still a bit of light. And here's my painting. I'm actually quite happy with it. It's a bit of a crazy painting, but It's quite an interesting painting. Back at home, I did 3 more versions of this scene, and I did a lot of experimentation. And in this first version, you can see that I did these intense colours, and it was a lot of fun, but I'm not sure if that painting is a success or not. In this second one, I was a bit more conservative, but I did experiment a lot with the rays of light and textures, and I think this is quite a good painting, but also maybe not quite good enough. And this final one I think is a success, but it was actually a failure. I painted the scene, I didn't like the result, and I decided to go over the whole scene with a wet brush and basically erase it and paint a whole new scene. But after I painted over it with the wet brush, it ended up looking really good, and I touched it up and made this final painting, which is a big success. And here I am back in Oita city. I'm driving over the bridge, and there's this beautiful view of the distant blue mountains, and I love those blue mountains so much. But anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this art adventure, and I'll be back again soon with a new adventure. Bye for now.